Hello, everybody. Let's see if I can do this right this time, okay? Let's just see. All right, we got that open. Now we gotta go this. We gotta go like this. And then we gotta go get that all lined up and start recording. And hopefully we are streaming. There's Solovino.
It's a brand new day and she's back again. Get yourself a beverage, let's get settled in. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, 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 all our favorite heathens gathered in one place.
Hey, Solo.
All our questions answered, our favorite creators on display. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. 4, 3, 2, 1, get ready for the fun. Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
Hey, Solo, how are you? I guess I'm gonna need this.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I have a problem with my Bluetooth. Hang on one second. I'm gonna fix this right now. All right, that should make it so I can hear you. Say something to me now.
Is it working now?
That is working so much better. I'm like, what did I hear?
My prayer worked. So I was praying for it to, and then there you go. God answered.
Who did you pray to?
Doug.
Oh, okay. Then that's probably why it worked. That's probably why it worked. You guys start tapping the screen, sharing out the live, doing all the good things. Remember, I need to get to 5,000 shares as quickly as possible. 5,000 likes, 100 shares. I have a gift goal of the little pink heart puffs. So if you can, they're only 1 coin each. Send those up. Don't forget to do the heart me's and all of the good team stuff. And then go back up there and collect your points because TikTok added an extra step. Okay, so have you watched this show yet? Do you know how I do this show?
I've watched segments of it. I've been up here and I've asked other content creator questions, but as far as like a full, complete 3-hour episode, this will be my first time. So.
Okay, so first of all, I start by asking you questions. They're just some fun icebreaker questions while people are gathering and people are sharing. And I have a new flash goal. You guys help me make this flash goal so it'll bump me out there. I just need 3 people to give me a GG. Just 3 of the 6 of you. I don't know why I don't get pushed out, but until everybody does all the good stuff, I don't get pushed out. But I'll just ask you 10 icebreaker questions, and then we will invite people to come up and ask you questions. We'll, if there's people who don't want to come up but have a question in chat, I'll read them out to you. If anybody asks questions over on YouTube, I'll read those out to you. And then at the end, we're going to ask a few people to hopefully come up here and join us. We play a game that everybody loves called Divine or Decline. And it's just a great game that I made up. Everybody loves it.
I have seen a short segment of Divine or Decline.
Okay. It's fun, right?
I'm fully prepared to suck at it.
Okay, great. As long as you're aware that everybody sucks at it, it'll be great because everybody sucks at it. Okay. I'm going to share this out real quick to a few people. Keep tapping the screen, you guys, sharing out the live, liking, don't forget to get Solovino. And let's see if we can't start getting some people in here. All right, I sent some out. I won't send one to Solovino. He'll never come. Okay. All right. Hopefully some people start coming in here now. All right, Solo, here we go. By the way, Solo is the first person who ever made me a mod. And I think he was the first panel I was ever on, too. You were like one of my first friends.
Yeah, I remember. And then you suddenly went off and got friends with all these bigger people and left Solovino behind.
No, I'm just so busy now. And you know what? I feel like I can't watch all my friends' shows. Like I try, and their podcasts, listen to their podcasts. By the way, Tahir, great podcast. I think I'm caught up as of yesterday. But you guys all have such great content. It's hard to watch you all and listen to all the shows. Okay. What's your favorite word to say dramatically, even if it's completely ordinary?
My favorite word to say dramatically. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just a word, but it's I like shut up. Like sometimes I'll tell my wife to shut up, but I don't do it in a mean way. I do it in like a cute way. Like she knows that I have no authority, and so whenever I say it, it's like a cute little thing between us. I'll tell my cats to shut up all the time. But let's see. I like fool. I like to look at people whenever they mess up and go and point at them and say, "Fool."
I tell my family to shut up when they sneeze instead of God bless you.
I do the same thing. Yes,
That is so fun. Especially if you sneeze more than once, then I'll just turn to you and go, "Shut up."
Exactly.
Actually, I do know why. My son used to have like sneezing fits, and I would say "God bless you" at first, but then he'd go on a little fit, and the only way he ever stopped is if I went "Shut up." Then he would just stop, and we would both laugh because we knew that it was like some kind of fear response or something.
Right?
But I like to say binoculars instead of like crazy or, nuts or whatever, because I'm trying not to say words that people use derogatory with mental health. And so one day this lady was on Mezzo's Live and she said something was binoculars, but I think she meant to say bonkers. But then she said it again about 3 minutes later. And after that, I just started saying binoculars.
Yeah.
That's binoculars.
Binoculars. I love it.
All right. Would you rather always have glitter on your hands or confetti fall every time you walked into a room?
I'd rather always have glitter on my hands.
Yeah. Because then people will think you're a regular at a strip joint.
Well, I was thinking more like, one of the vampires from Twilight. Yeah, so
I went right to strippers. You went to Twilight. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
no, it's okay. I've been told that I look an awful lot like Edward Cullen, especially from, old men who are really, really inebriated.
So, okay. I would probably. Do I have to clean up the confetti? Is the question, because if I have to clean up that confetti, I'm not doing that.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like my wife would.
Yeah.
I mean, she would be so pissed if I had. She would want me to come home even less than I do.
Hey, y'all, can I get one more person to send me a GG? I don't think I need to wait the whole 9 minutes. Somebody send up a GG. It's just one coin, okay? Yeah, I think I'd have to do the glitter because I'm not cleaning up confetti all the time.
Big W for Hippie and Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you had to give up one forever, are you giving up tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
couldn't.
because here's the thing. I could just wrap it differently and cover it in sauce and cheese and call it an enchilada or a burrito. I don't have to. There's ways to get around that, but pizza, that's harder to fudge, I think.
So you're getting rid of tacos though?
Yeah. See, if I get rid of
Okay.
tacos, I can still have the same ingredients with nacho. It's in a
Oh,
different.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm keeping tacos because I can have such a large variety of tacos. I got your birria tacos, you got mini tacos, you got your fried tacos from Jack in the Box that are shitty, but everybody likes them anyway. You got, Taco
You-
Supremes, Dorito tacos. I don't know. There's so many kinds of tacos.
I mean, not
Pork,
to be.
chicken, shrimp.
Yeah. Not to be crude, but the ultimate taco. I mean, that would be.
I only expect crude from you, Solo.
I'm gonna
You
keep
know
it
that?
I'm gonna keep it under control tonight. I do not want to get anyone in trouble. So.
Okay, all right. That's good.
But
All
if
right.
but when you hear me say taco for the rest of the night, that's what I'm referring to. So
Okay. I will keep that in mind. What's your I'm secretly really good at this random thing skill?
secretly,
Yeah, like not everybody knows about it, but you know. You're really good at it.
singing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we ever hear you sing, sir?
Because that's what makes it one of those secret things.
Secret things.
And so I can't answer
But
that
the
question.
secret's out now. Like,
Yeah, but it's not
Can I
proven. Yeah.
okay, all right. That's true and fair. I am secretly really, really good at negotiating.
Nice.
Like, I could negotiate a hostage situation. No, I don't know about that. That would probably break me. But I've negotiated and been like a vintage antiques dealer, a clothing dealer, and I negotiated the purchase of our last truck. Got it right at. Oh, look at there's Aaron Joe. Aaron Joe knows I'm a good negotiator. I'm just. That's one thing I'm really good at. She's my best friend from Kansas.
Wonderful.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
When I used to live out in Kansas, she lived out there too. Yes, I am a penny pincher too. I am a penny pincher because it's really hard for me to pay retail when I know that I can negotiate. So it's just really hard for me to walk in and pay full price for anything.
Hello, Jason.
Okay. Hey, Jason, how are you? Okay, let's see. If your job came with a cartoon sidekick, what would it be and what would it do?
Well, you see, I'm a middle schooler, so I'd want my sidekick to be like the child snatcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, really?
Just get these little shits out of my life.
For sure. Happy Friday, Annie. Hello, Misery. Hi, Ty here, etc. Hello, everybody. Keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live. I'll be done in just a few minutes, and you guys can come up and start asking Solo your questions. Okay, I don't really work, so I think
No, I mean you do a lot here on in the online community. So maybe it's not a you would say that it's a paid profession in a way, but I'd say you're still doing a work and you're doing it for a purpose. So I mean,
I do this for a purpose, and it does me a lot of good doing things for this community. So if that is the case, if this we call my work, then I would want those little Cinderella birds as my sidekicks. And I think it's pretty evident why they could do shit for me, you know? So the little birds or the little mice, either one. Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, I don't care, whichever one. Okay, which emoji are you most like on a Monday morning?
Oh, which emoji am I most like on Monday morning? Let me look through the emojis here.
Okay. You guys are sweet. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
That one.
Okay. There's one that's sleepy looking, right? Hi, Eli. Because that's what I would be on a Monday morning. I'm just sleepy.
I chose that one because I was trying to make it bigger and I accidentally, because I couldn't see it. And I guess it looks like a little farmer person.
Yeah.
So it was an accident, so that one. And that's just that's just like a Monday for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a farmer person on Monday?
You bet.
Hello, Kiana. Hello, Benny Boy. Hello, Burns. Hello, Seth. Hello, everybody over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's see. What's the next one? Would you rather only be able to teach using sock puppets or interpretive dance?
Sock puppets. No.
Yeah?
Now, first of all, just right off the bat, sock puppets are funny. You know. Second of all, if you know anything about me, I'm kind of a guy that likes things that have to do with socks. So yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I should have known you to pick sock puppets.
Yeah, as soon as people left, you know, and I was, you know, all by myself, I just take those socks off real slowly.
Okay, all right, that makes sense for you. I would definitely do sock puppets because I'm not dancing. That sounds like exercise and work to me. I don't know. I'm not doing that. That's not happening. All right. If you could make any inanimate object talk, what would it be and why?
If I could make any inanimate talk, what would it be and why? A toilet seat. Because it would just have a lot of shit to talk about, man.
So when I was in like second grade, we had to take an inanimate object and personify it and make a story up. And I picked a toilet and I got in trouble for doing that. It was a really good paper too. It was very funny. But yeah, my teacher and my mom didn't like it.
I'm agreeing with Misery down there. I'm also afraid of some of these answers.
Okay, if an inanimate object talk, I don't really feel the need for an inanimate object to talk to me. Maybe my pillow. It could tell me like how much I'm tossing and turning, if I talk in my sleep. I don't know.
What if it wakes you up? What if it's like 3 a.m? It's like, hey, Crystal, what are you doing?
Knowing my pillow, it would do that because it's my pillow. And I would do that if I was a pillow. Wow, you're right, Solo. I don't know. I don't have anything else. Oh, I know. Maybe my mirror.
Ooh.
I could have conversations with myself, or if I can catch people in a mirror, I could talk to them. It would be kind of cool.
Totally. I agree.
The mirror people. Not the real people. The mirror people would be cool. Hey, Fulsey, how are you? DC, how are you guys? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hippie, good to see you. All right. If Boston had an official animal mascot that wasn't a sports logo, what would it be?
Oh man. Probably official sports that would not, but it can't be an animal.
No, it is an animal, but it just
That
can't be like that. Like it can't be like whatever the Boston's Red Sox mascot is or something like that. Like like it can't be one of the team's mascots that already exists in the Boston area.
I think a. I mean, part of me wants to say a tea bag. I was. Why not just a good bowl of clam chowder?
Okay.
I don't think mascots
so
are
funny.
creative enough anymore. Like you see like gorillas, you see big bananas, you see dinosaurs and gators and whatnot. Do you ever see a bowl of clam chowder? And maybe it could be steaming, and
Yeah.
it could smell like clam chowder, and then people would go. You can actually go to a game in Boston and get like a bowl of lobster bisque.
Yum.
Sit there and watch the Red Sox eating lobster bisque.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Right?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the beaver
Yes, ma'am.
because it's MIT's mascot and they don't have a sports team, so I can use it. Because they are nature's engineers and there's just so many smart people in Boston. There's a bunch of like engineers and doctors and lawyers and shit walking around.
Gynecologists. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Beaver is.
Okay, last question, and then you guys, why don't you go ahead and request up and come up and ask solo your questions. Thank you, etc. Also, if you're too shy to come up, you can type it in chat. I'll be happy to ask for you. All right. The last question is, if you had to rename yourself using a type of cheese and a color, what would your new name be?
Oh, type of cheese and a color. So I have to have cheese and blue cheese is the first thing that comes to mind. I love blue cheese.
It is a good cheese. That was the first thing that came to my mind too. But then I was like, if I'm going to make it a name, I'll have to say Roquefort instead of blue cheese.
Let's see. Green cheese.
Green cheese? Okay.
Yep.
Mine is going to be Brie Periwinkle.
Brie Periwinkle. I suppose I didn't tell you a type of cheese. Sorry, I'm
Oh,
reaching.
yeah.
I'm at an altitude at the moment that's just kind of not making me. So let's see. Yellow. Wait, I didn't say yellow. I said green. Well, let's put some yellow in there too. A yellowish green. Gouda.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
Oh, wait.
That's really good.
How do you pronounce that one cheese? I had to look it up once. It's like a French sounding. What the fuck is that called? Gruyere. Yes, I would.
Gruyere.
A green
Gruyere.
Gruyere.
Okay, I like that. That's good. I'm going to stick with Brie Periwinkle because it just sounds like like a name.
Yeah. Sorry, I gave like 7 answers, but that was a difficult question.
It was a difficult question. Tahir, how are you today?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Good to see you.
Got a question or two for Solo today?
Yeah, I have, one question that I have been wondering forever and never actually asked, and I'm so curious. When you wind up in those lives where you troll people, are you just scrolling and you just find them, or do you have like a hit list of lives that you want to hit? Like, how do you find your victims?
Well, when I'm trolling, it's typically because I can't. I'm having difficulty sleeping, so I wake up and I just get on TikTok and I just start scrolling through, and you get some really like bottom of the barrel lives. Now there's some good ones, but you can run into some just really funky, weird, like you almost like you're in some sort of a fever dream shit live. And that's the perfect time to find them, and that's typically when I go on and so I just scroll along. Sometimes I'll type in God debates or Jesus or religion or something, and I find something that I'm like, oh yeah, this looks like it'll work.
That's one of my
It's
favorite.
hilarious.
It is. It's one of my favorite things on TikTok, especially the ones where they're like, I'm going to let him up. I know he's a troll. And he comes up and he's like, no, I'm serious. And then unleashes the troll. It just cracks me up every time.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, man, they're so dumb. It's like, why do they trust me? It's like, never trust me, ever. Even if you like me. My wife loves me, but she doesn't trust me with shit.
I mean, even your profile pic is a little mischievous.
Exactly.
It is. I did just watch your Trinity explanation.
I think
and I just don't even... I wonder why they let it go on for so long, too. My brain is just going like, girl, why are you still listening to him at this point?
She was like, oh shit, I'm going to need to get someone up here that knows philosophy real quick.
Tahir, did you have another question for Solo?
Nope, that was it.
Stay up here if you don't have anywhere to go. Hang out with us. DC, do you have any questions for Solo today?
Hey. Yes.
Hey.
Solo, how excited are you about your aren't you going to be discussing something with or has that already happened?
Do you have a debate coming up?
No, I don't do those kinds of debates. But let's see. I moderated a debate.
Oh, that's what it was, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were doing it.
An atheistic preacher and no degree required had a debate over, does the Bible endorse freedom or something like that. So,
are you going to be doing more of those?
If people ask me, I don't. I felt kind of honored that that they considered me, and so I was like, sure. And
nice to meet you.
I totally would. It's nice to meet you too, Crystal. It's always been nice. So I mean, I'd be up to it. It's nothing that I'm going to go searching for, though.
Would you rather moderate debates, or would you rather be the one debating?
I like being a part of the discussion, but I mean, on my lives, and if Misery and Hippie and everyone still here that comes in a lot can attest to, you have to end up moderating the conversations that other people, when they take over your lives and stuff. And I do let people do that sometimes. I bring people up, and then they kind of Solovino's live sort of just becomes, like an episode of Sesame Street, where, yeah, we all know that Elmo or Big Bird is the star, but you also have that one guy and that one other puppet and those two other weird puppets. So and then it just becomes a friendly get together. I don't even remember the question you asked me, DC.
It was all about the puppets. You answered it with the puppets.
Thanks.
Any other questions, DC?
Yeah, so were you raised, I can't remember your story, your backstory. Were you raised in a super strict Christian background, or were you able to avoid that particular?
That would depend on what you mean by super strict. My parents are fairly left-leaning people. To explain what I mean by that, like they would tell me stuff like, it's okay to have doubts. You don't always have to go to church. But in terms of like, did we go to church? Was it, could I have sat down at the dinner table being like, God damn, this meatloaf's great, Mom? No. We had to follow, the rules. And I don't know. It's kind of weird because for the most part, my parents didn't force anything down my throat or anything like that. But my mom and she's quirky as fuck. I love her, but she's just an absolute nut. Every once in a while, like when I was a kid, I remember if I spit on the ground, if I had something in my mouth, or maybe it was a loogie, or who knows? We all spit. Don't even act like you don't. I know you'd like to think that you're attractive, but guess what? Everyone spits. And so I spit on the ground, and my mom was like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Sorry." And she's like, "People spit on Jesus." Oh, fuck. Seriously? Are you seriously telling me that I can't do that because they used to do? I was like, well, carpenters couldn't build houses then because then they have to nail nails in. Hey, don't nail that board in. That's what they did to Jesus. Oh shit. I guess we better use it. So it's just like, Mom, I love you, but fuck off.
That is hilarious.
I love it. I'm here for it. That's all I got so far.
So when did you like start deconstructing, or did you go like this just is like bullshit and it's not for me?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a deconstruction? Like, was there a time where you were like, I don't know, I don't really believe in this, I need to look into it a little bit more? Or did you just kind of go, I actually just don't believe this is bullshit, and just kind of walk away?
Oh, no, it was definitely deconstruction. I mean, it ended the second way, but it took a while. So it was just a process, a long period of time. And one thing that I noticed is like, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's Christianity's fault, but it's a lot of Christians' fault, I guess, that I'm no longer a believer's, because they were always like, these scholars were always impressing me with like their different interpretations, and then I started to notice that over time, my opinions about the Bible would change because I'd look at it from a different perspective. And then, but the more you do that, the more you start to realize that, there's some overlaying patterns here that sort of connect and make you go, wait a minute, how do I know which perspective is the right one? And so, it's, it was definitely a process over time. I remember I was the first, I remember, Dad's a preacher, and I remember asking him when I was fairly young, around 10 or 11. I asked him something to the effect of, how do we know that our religion's true? Because other religions have their own books that says that their religion is true. So how do we know which one's the right one? And he actually addressed it in a sermon once. And as much as I love Dad, he just gave like the worst answer. He was like, we know because Jesus actually came to us. And I was like, even at 11 years old, I was like, what the fuck, Dad? I mean, you paid for seminary. So is that the best you could do? But yeah, anyway, I promise that not all of my answers are going to be this long.
Oh, no, that's why we're here. We want to hear your answers, your stories. We want to learn about you today. So I love it. So it was a process for you. Were you married, and were you guys both Christians and then you deconstructed? And if so, did that cause any issues, or did you deconstruct before you got married, or how'd that go?
Yeah, so our marriage definitely got us closer to Satan. It was she definitely went first. Like she just got to a point where she was like, I remember I was still a believer, but like I said, my belief had changed so much over time. It like morphed into this thing that was like, I could still call myself Christian in some senses, but I had lost a lot of it by then. But yeah, I still remember there was a time when I was a so-called believer and she wasn't. And there wasn't really a lot of tension there because I was like, her belief is her own, and, I don't have to put mine on hers. But yeah, I soon came following after. And if my parents ever knew that, she'd be like, see, I knew she was the devil when he married her.
So she went first, and then you weren't. Was it a long time later, or was it, just a short period later that you realized you no
Well,
longer were believing it?
we've only been married like what, 13, 14, I don't know, it might be 15 years. We've stopped keeping track. But yeah, so somewhere like when we moved to the house, she started. Hey, I tell you what, hers, she's like was really just like tipped the scales in what was it, 2016. So that would have been, um, wait a minute, not 2016. Yeah, 2015, 16. It was around the time that Bernie Sanders was running for president. So he was trying to get on the Democratic ticket. And, I think after, battling online with a bunch of, right leaning folk, just tipped the scales for her. She was just like, what? But I mean, that makes it seem like, she left because of people. I really don't think she actually believed it, because she would talk about like things seeming weird, and I could tell that even when I like earlier on told her something that was preachy, or, a sign from God of some sort, she always kind of looked at me like I was an idiot. She still makes that face, but at least I'm not talking about Jesus.
Tahir, did you have a question?
Yeah. So, and if you can't really answer this, I totally get it. But so what would you say that there was a point where you kind of hit like a low point as a Christian, like all the ways that it warps your mindset and your beliefs? Is there a point looking back now that you're like, man, I can't believe I did that, or I thought that, or I felt that?
So when you say a low point, that's me looking back, being like, I can't believe I was that repugnant.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So it wasn't very nice of me to talk about people in the rainbow community as if though they were sinning, even though when I got home, after church, or, after eating breakfast, or after eating lunch, or after supper, or, in between there a couple times, getting on the internet and looking at, everybody doing everything in every single way and totally enjoying all of it, there to follow and pray up and repent afterward. Or sometimes I just said, God, wait till Sunday. And then by that time I totally forgot about it, and I probably missed church because I was at home, looking at people doing all sorts of things in all sorts of ways, and trying to participate as much as I could. And so, yeah, so I kind of feel like a shitball for that.
Fair, totally fair.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got a phone call, so I didn't know if it muted you guys for a minute. Go ahead, DC.
Oh, you're good. I was just quiet for a second. I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk. So how old were you? You may have already mentioned it, but how old were you when you and your wife walked away?
Oh, I would say that I was in the neighborhood of 35, maybe. So maybe 10 years ago. Yeah. And
Okay.
she's a little bit older. I mean, she's a little bit older than me, but we won't talk about that. Um, but yeah. And what's interesting is that it kind of just we kind of like had our own journey, and we kind of just ended up um, in the same spot. Like, it wasn't a matter of us like sitting down and talking about deconstructing. It was just a thing that we both like did. Like, I don't think she deconstructed. I think one day she was just like, why the fuck would I even pretend to believe this? And then just like walked away. I've been in it ever since I was a kid, right? I've got family ties into it and stuff like that. So it took me a little longer, but I finally came around.
Yeah, I could totally respect that. I was actually having a conversation with someone earlier, and we were talking about how not everyone is on the same journey. Even though we may even believe the same, it's a different journey, but it's really cool whenever it's the people that you love the most that your journeys kind of could work together. That's really cool when it works out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, on the flip side, what would you say is the thing you're most proud of that you've been able to do or accomplish since deconstructing that you wouldn't have been able to before?
Honestly, I think, I'm actually going to say this. I honestly think that I wouldn't have got up and moved away from the state that I was in, and went to a state that I prefer to be in and am enjoying my life here now. Because I always had sort of this fear of traveling away from home and mom and dad and my friends, and I was kind of a little mama's boy, who was just like, wanted to be there and live there my whole life, even though it kind of made me feel miserable. But that's religion, right? That's what it did to me anyway. Is that it makes you feel like shit, and then it makes you feel like it has the cure. So you just stay to keep being pacified little by little bit. On the inside you're dying. And so whenever I got away from that, I could look around and be like, you know what? There's really not much here for me to miss. Other than some family and friends. And that was hard. But leaving the town, driving away from there, and being like, I don't need to live here again. That was nice.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That is really, really awesome. So, do you have family and friends that still bother you about leaving the faith? Any of them tried to bring you back, or what have preach to you a bit?
No, you know what? Not a lot, and it kind of makes me want to just be like, fuck you, family. I thought you cared about me.
You're just gonna let me go to hell, God.
I think some of it's like a denial from my parents. So there's probably some hope in them that I'm like hanging on somehow, or that this is just a phase, or that I can't lose the salvation that I had. But yeah, some friends have. There's been at least a couple here and there that have tried to like help me or convert me in some way. And I mean, once they see that I like, and I wouldn't call myself an intellectual, but once they see that I'm not just someone who decided to do it like on a personal whim, just like, I'm just going to pretend to be an atheist for attention or something like that, and they actually talk to me about it, I think they're kind of like, I can see the cognitive dissonance, and cognitive dissonance actually makes people feel, how would you put it, hurt, embarrassed. It makes people feel uncomfortable, and I could see that I was doing that to them whenever I would give them my reasoning, and so I think they kind of avoid talking to me about it because they feel like prayer can help, where they don't have to step in, and B, listen to things that makes them question and doubt. And to be honest with you, I'm not interested at all in converting my parents to atheism, or really even talking about my atheism to them. So
Right. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it with my family either, but I don't really talk to my family, but it was for other reasons. They were always not good people, not just because they were Christians. I think they were Christians because they already weren't good people. I'm just saying. So how did you start doing deconstruction lives and shows and debates and stuff? How did you start doing that?
To be honest, like I didn't even know what I was going to be doing all that much. My TikTok sort of when I first started getting on TikTok, it was during the pandemic, and so I was bored like everybody else, and I was scrolling through TikTok and enjoying like the the bizarre experience of the FYP or the algorithm exposing me. My wife is sometimes I'd be on TikTok and my wife would be like, "What the hell are you watching?" I was like, nothing. It's just I don't think this thing knows what I like." And she's like, "There's an algorithm," and she had to explain it to me. It was a big weird conversation, but anywho, what the question was, how the lives, yeah, and so. So it sort of merged into where the fuck where did I go with this? Why did I even mention that thing at the fucking beginning? Okay, stop.
Well, wait. So, because I was gonna ask a question, and then I thought you were headed into answering it. But did you? Because you meant okay. So, what was it that made you deconstruct? Was it like little by little, or was there like a catalyst where you're like, oh?
It was definitely little by little, but you know what? As soon as I learned that hell wasn't real, and that it didn't seem like something a loving God would do, like when I fully convinced myself, or I wasn't really convincing myself, but it was like I had gone over the idea several times in my head, debating it back and forth. And that's why I'm prepared for debates when I do them on TikTok, is because I spend a lot of time trying to debate myself. But yeah, anyway, as soon as I tore off that fear of like hell, I was like, well, I don't have anything to worry about in terms of, and I noticed that it was really easy to let go of it at that point. It's almost as if though I didn't believe it at all. I just had some sort of weird obsessive compulsive thing in thinking that, there was going to be this eternal torment. And when you finally realize that that was bullshit, it was like Santa Claus. When someone finally convinced me that Santa Claus wasn't real, I was like, fuck you, 6-year-old girl. I was 6 years old too, but yeah, you know what? And I'm going to speak on that because that is significant.
Yes. Do.
When all's that little shit had to do, when we were sitting there debating Santa Claus, and she finally just outright said it, and she said, "It's your parents." And I stopped and I was like, oh fuck. It was almost instantaneous. I was like, that makes perfect sense. Now it all makes sense. Because you start to get suspicious when you see that the wrapping paper is the same, or that it's very important that you don't come out on Christmas Eve night. So, Mom, let me have like 5 extra rum balls in hopes to, subdue me, and, yeah. I mean, measuring the milk right before you went to bed, or the eggnog, and then if they came out, I don't know. So,
do you want to know what the giveaway was for my daughter?
what?
She said, "Why did Santa get everything from Kohl's?" And I worked at Kohl's.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but there were definitely some moments in my deconstruction where it was like, as soon as somebody's, and that's why I love the deconstruction community. Like, I'll get on, Justin's Live or Joyful's, or, it just doesn't matter who, Deborah's. Sometimes someone will just say something, and it'll either be a theist or an atheist. And I'll just be like, it's like an instantaneous, but that explains so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoy, listening to all those things that, make me come around and go, now I get it. And then you feel kind of pissed off for a second. You're like, oh my gosh, you just want to,
I've been duped.
Really mad at that 6-year-old girl, but you're right, and so, yeah, but oh well. Now it's just a learning process. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree, but I do find it interesting, that's everybody's journey is so different. And that's why I love hearing deconstruction journeys, because for me personally, it was like the inverse, where I needed to start like at the bottom start like breaking down the foundation before I could get to the top and be like, okay, so hell's not real then I was like, okay, phew, like I'm good. Whereas for you, you kind of, sorry, puppy's going crazy, but you kind of started with that hell, like you started almost top to bottom in a way. I find that fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like whenever I found out that like, hell wasn't real, like, well, when I, went and did the research, I read the Bart Ehrman book. I looked into, other, ancient stories and like in, in Greece and whatnot with the Greek gods and how, this thing evolved. It was almost just like, oh, well, that explains so much. It was an aha moment. It was just like, and then it kind of and then it starts to make sense of a lot of things that you wondered, like especially when someone that we knew in our family that would pass away and they were atheists. It's like I looked at my parents and I was just like, shouldn't you be like way more devastated about this? Like, why don't you seem like you're like, if you truly believe that, like, why are you letting me watch MTV? It's like, they just didn't seem like they believed that it was real. But like,
That's a great point.
Yeah, they're very, very addicted, I think, or maybe something to the to just the faith itself, and so it is what it is. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
my parents were a lot like that too. My parents, they went to church. My mom was a part of any organization. I can't name them all because she probably did every one, that would. I remember she was on Sarah's Circle, which I don't even know what the hell that is. She, was on Outreach and all kinds of things. And my dad was a steward, and he was always on the board and, stuff like that. But then again, they didn't really have a lot of strict Christian rules for us. Like, we were definitely allowed to watch MTV, and we actually had TVs in our rooms. And so I don't know, like they just didn't have a lot of strict rules for us. The only rule my mom had was that we had to wear dresses to church as the girls, not my brother. He didn't have to do that. Just the girls. But and that's the only one I really remember. I remember one time the pastor was coming over. And my mom was taking all the liquor out of the liquor cabinet and putting it in her bathroom, like cabinet in her bedroom. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, the pastor's coming over." And I'm like, is he going to go through our cabinet? Like, I didn't say that, but I was like, what the hell are we doing here? But I did say, because I was not the brightest child, I said, isn't that like being a hypocrite? Hiding the booze but still drinking it? I don't understand.
Yep, super Christian. But I was gonna say, wait, give me a second. I lost it.
Me too, man. This whole like live so far, like I feel like I'm going off on rabbit trails. I didn't even tell you what. Yeah, so yeah, I already explained like like how the Santa thing applied to my deconstruction, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
But no, I remembered. So because you were talking about like the unalive thing, and I was thinking that is so true, because in all of the times anyone I've ever known has ever passed away, I can't think of a single person who has ever been devastated that person was going to hell. It was never like, it's always, like a normal reaction. They're gone, but never like they're gone and they're going to hell and we're never gonna see them, in heaven. And so that really does make me wonder, like, how truly and honestly did anyone actually believe that stuff? I mean, not everybody was Crystal, I guess, because Crystal believed through and through. But yeah, that is super interesting.
Hey, Cash.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
Doing pretty good. I actually just came back from a trip to Massachusetts with my partner and their
Oh,
parents.
nice.
Awesome.
Did you have some questions for Solovino today?
Well, I kind of did. It was about that debate I saw moderate. So overall, do debates with between atheists and Christians go in that particular direction? Like, is that like the typical trend of a Christians kind of losing ground that often?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't feel like I understand the question.
Oh, so the way that's the last one that one debate I saw that you moderated
With AP and no degree?
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh okay.
you know, degree. Is that like a typical interaction, or was no degree just particularly himself?
Well, yeah. I mean that's typical no degree. I mean, I've never had like problems with him, but I'm not a very like
Confrontation.
yeah, I'm not a very confrontational like debater. Like I like debating with people who like have actually sat and thought about it and want to have a meaningful dialogue back and forth. But yeah, I mean that's typically how that ends up. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but you know, I mean, I think at the very end there, he was in there talking to Rabbi Hannah, and so you know, and he was saying some bullshit. And she was calling him, or they were calling him out on it, and so yeah, I don't know. This is the first one I moderated, and I thought it was a fairly normal, pretty low key debate. You know, I thought I did a really good job. W's for me in the chat, if you all would.
W's for Solo.
Oh, definitely W's for Solo, because that, yeah, I've seen debates that were far worse, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, 1.21 gigawatts is here. Guys, I want you all to know, if there is like my number one go-to live when I seriously just want to chillax is 1.21 gigawatts down there. So please follow. Actually, don't follow his live, because when too many people come in, then there's like too much of like, he has one of those things where like if your comments will be read out loud by some AI bot, and it's a really fun live to go into. And he's always playing some like really trippy game, and I don't know, like that's like my happy place. So
Yeah, Gig is amazing.
follow Giga, everybody.
No.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so funny you mentioned the whole AI voice thing. Like, no, someone once suggested to me that I should just have the like a reading of the Havamal, just have an AI bot read the Wanderer's Havamal. Which, as cool as that sounds, no, I don't think an AI bot can provide the same inflections that I do. So, yeah, like, yeah, and that was like, no, I enjoy reading the Havamal, like, just for myself using my own vocal cords. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh.
Any other questions for Solo? If you guys are in chat, you've got a question for Solo, you can type it out. I will read it to him if you're too shy to come up. But if you're not shy, just come on up, ask Solo your question, or thank him if he's, helped you in your deconstruction journey, or if you've enjoyed his content. Let us know. Either come up or type in the comments. I'm going to check YouTube real quick. If you guys have other questions, go ahead and ask him.
Thank you, Solo.
Hey, you too.
I enjoy your content.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming in. Make sure to come by. Make sure to come by one of the lives sometime. The lives are a lot different than the YouTube videos, or not YouTube, the TikToks. I decided to sort of remove my face from my TikToks and just sort of be I think it's just better, but yeah. But in terms of the actual lives, we actually have really, really good discussions. And anyone who's a good at decorum and having patience with, other people of the other faith or faith in general, come by and we like to have good talks. So we have fun around there.
Absolutely. I have been meaning to, and I have not had the pleasure yet, but I will definitely pop in sometime. And that does actually my next and final question. Is there any creator that you personally enjoy, like their content, that you haven't had a chance to like go up on their live or collaborate with them in some way? Like, who's your dream collaboration, I guess?
Wow. I would say maybe.
I love your reaction to my questions. It means they're good.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. Like, first and foremost, my person that I want to collab with is Hippie down there in the chat. Like if I could do, we've there's been talk of maybe doing sort of a podcast thing. That would be my go-to person in terms of conversation. I want to say something like Justin Deconstruction or something like that. I'm afraid he's just like a little bit he's a little bit a tier too much above me in terms. I think I don't think that there would be any purpose in me being in the live. Like whenever I see Justin debating with Blitz and Ian, when they do that, what is it called? They do they do sort of a podcast.
Oh, yeah. I forget what it's called.
Unapologetic. Yeah. When those guys, they complement each other, like each other's weaknesses. So Justin doesn't really care. He goes into the philosophical a little, but not really that deep. But Ian's really good at the philosophical, while Justin's better at the biblical. And then you got the science / philosophy guy with Dr. Blitz, But if I felt like I was with any one of them, I really couldn't contribute anything that they couldn't just easily do on their own. And so I own that. I know when there are people out there who are better at this than me. Would it be fun to be on Deconstruction Zone and sit on his panel and maybe try to help with some of the guests? Sure, but I just don't feel like even like Thinker, right? That girl, like, what would I say? I couldn't say anything in her lives that she couldn't say better, and so I'm just like, fuck it, But once again, a really long answer to a really,
No, I appreciate you taking the time.
Me too.
I think you're wrong. I think that because it's not super hard to be, to make people laugh, but it is hard to be really funny. And you've definitely got that. And I think humor is something, especially in the context of these particular lives, I don't think that that's something that you can ever have enough of. I see you almost kind of in like a Jeff from the Other Species, how he just kind of, pops around and, he says some funny stuff, but he's also knowledgeable. I could see you like that being your lane as well. You pop up, you're knowledgeable, but you say some funny things, you make people laugh. I think there's definitely a lane for you and things that you could contribute to these other lives. So don't sell yourself short. But also, you and Hippie podcast, I would definitely I'd love to see that.
Absolutely. Hey, we have a question from the chat. Luke says, I know you think the scriptures got a bunch wrong. Do you ever think there's a point to that?
I mean, I provided an answer of my own. It's called propaganda. Yeah, it really is propaganda designed to control a whole bunch of people through fear and and manipulating people. Like it really is just a way with the fear of hell.
What do you think, Solo?
Could you read the question again?
Yeah, it says, I know you think that the scriptures got a lot wrong, got a bunch wrong. Do you ever think there's a point to that?
A point to having things wrong? Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I think that there are things in this world that are both right and wrong, and we have indicators that lead us to those things. Now, if what they're asking is that, do I think that there's a common theme or an explanation as to why they're wrong? Yeah, I mean, you have multiple authors who all have their conception of what they believe or what they're trying to get the listener, the reader, whoever to understand. They have a message that they're trying to communicate. Everyone's doing it in their own little way. It's an evolution of sorts. If you just see how it progresses as it goes, and then now it gets constructed. And of course, there's so many different ways that you can pick apart this machine and reposition parts before it becomes something that is of your own mind and not really of the authors themselves. They're just like, maybe providing just a story base, but it's kind of like choose your own story, create your own story. The ultimate game of telephone spiritually, I guess. But yeah, I think that's why, and that's why it gets some things right, Like there's some stuff in there that's good. I'm not going to lie about that. There's some stuff in there that I think, okay, that's nice. When Jesus was healing sick people, okay, great, good, do that more. But there's also a lot of bullshit too, and so you have to see the good, and when you see the bullshit, recognize it for what it is. Well,
Absolutely. Okay, so you've been doing your show for a while now. You've met all types of people, from different religions too, many different religions. What is your most memorable thing that has happened on your show?
The most memorable thing that happened on my show was I actually had an experience with a pre-sup, and I wasn't ready for it, to be honest with you, and I kind of got my ass handed to me a little bit, but you know what, I tried to take it as humbly as possible, because I take every single learning experience, and that I teach kids all the time, and I certainly can teach them without making them feel bad about not knowing something, right? And so I just sort of ignored the way that he did it. I was like, okay, you did good, you cooked me, you got me. But then I kept going through the live, and I kept talking out loud, and then before you know it, Justin's there, and he comes up into the live, and we start talking, and then out of nowhere, No Degree Required comes up, and then we got Justin and No Degree Required up there, like talking, and then P Mars gets up there.
He was in here a minute ago. I don't know if he's still here, but he was in here a minute ago.
Yeah, and then before you know it, Justin said, "Oh, hey, J Mike," and I was like, "J Mike's in there." I look up at the number count, and I'm just, what the fuck? I'm popping off. Like, I need to get my face off the camera. But it was a lovely debate. I wish I would have recorded that one and saved it somewhere. But Justin actually helped me understand a little bit of sort of a nominalist approach when it comes to grounding logic, and And so, it was very helpful to have some feedback. It was humiliating, and then it was like redeeming at the end. And I was just like, you know what? I'll take it.
That sounds like a lot of fun too. That is one of my most memorable type of lives too. It was the other night. I was gonna do a sub only, but I kind of forgot to switch it to sub only, and I was like, oh well. And Joyful came up as I am his pastor, and I was interviewing him like I'm doing you right now. And before you know it, Joel reads Bibles there, Mezzo's there, Justin joined, Skits Loves God joined, and it was hilarious. And yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. Hey, Nick, did you have a question for Solovino?
I do. Okay. Solo. Why is solo? And that is my question. Did I lose him?
No, I'm right here.
No, what'd you say?
Why is solo?
Oh, why is solo?
Why is solo?
Why is solo? Solo is because solo does. Solo is and ever was. Solo will always be. Solo is a tree. Solo's growing further, and solo is me.
Oh my God.
No,
I have to clip that.
I came late to the party. Why did you start doing deconstruction lives?
Hey, I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourself for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I started doing them because I wanted to have conversations about the topic. There was still things like, even though I was deconstructing, I didn't know. And I was like, well, you can keep yourself in an echo chamber. You can go and read what people are saying about it, which I do some of that. But I thought, I remember one of my guilty pleasures is I like arm wrestling, and I don't like much other sports. But I'll watch people get up there and arm wrestle, professional arm wrestles. And I remember there's a professional arm wrestler. His name's Devin Larratt, and he said he's a Canadian, by the way. He said that you can do any kind of workout you want. You can use dumbbells, you can do push-ups, you can do whatever. But if you want to get better at arm wrestling, you just have to arm wrestle. And so I looked at it that way. I was like, I want to just get in there. I know that there's people out there that are going to make me look and, sound as dumb as I am, but I'm going to treat it like a learning process and not worry about it. So I enjoy having the conversation. So I enjoy it when I learn something. I enjoy it when someone points out that I made a mistake in my logic. I just really, really enjoy the conversations, especially when they go well.
I love that. I love that for you. Is there any topic that a Christian will get into that just boils your blood every time? For me, it's Calvinists and the fact that they teach their kids really heinous stuff. Is there anything that one thing that Christians will bring up with you and immediately you're warpath?
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't do the pre-sup thing anymore. And it's not because, like I said earlier, I got my ass handed to me. I realized how much, how garbage that argument is. And I'm just, until they can come at me with a serious one, I'm no longer interested in that. But it doesn't boil my blood. I'm just I'm not interested, and nobody else is with this bullshit because we see right through it. Yeah, no, I don't typically. For me, it's more about how the person is engaging in the discussion, not necessarily what the discussion is in and of itself.
Awesome. I think that's my questions for the day. And Solo, as always, you're amazing.
You can hang out with us if you want, Nick.
I was gonna
We should get
say
more questions.
DRD's coming up soon, so you better not go anywhere, Nick.
Oh, I get
Everyone's
my
numbers for volunteers, so I could text everyone.
that
And so I'll
game
try to do
like
separate
gets
groups
me
for each
hard.
course.
I don't think Petty knows he's up here.
But I'll just need to figure out how to.
Okay, I muted him, and then we'll see if he figures out he's up here and if he wants to remain up here. Sometimes, you just end up on a panel for no reason. You guys, thank
Sorry
you all
about
for
all
being here. That's all right.
Sorry about all that extra noise. I was washing my hands. I had to scratch my butthole. But at least I washed my hands.
Okay, you guys keep tapping the screen. Let's get up over 30,000 likes. We could do that in the next 10 minutes, So I'm saying let's shoot for a 40 in the next, half hour. Okay, 40,000 in the next half hour. And then don't forget, my goal today is the little pink puffy hearts. So if you have a coin or two, send me a puffy heart or two. My goal is 666. Hail Satan, hail puffy hearts. Also, I am looking for more subbies. I need to get back up over 100. So if you haven't subscribed, think of doing so today. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. You're subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and the Disney Channel, and you never watch any of them because you're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, because I see ya, because I'm here too. So why don't you cancel some of those subscriptions and then come subscribe to small creators like myself, like Nick, like Solo.
Whatever. I'm not a small creator. I'm huge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why would you think that I'd come on Decon Q&A if I wasn't top shit?
Because I'm small. I'm a small creator. Well, then just support me, okay? That's all you got to do. And if you enjoy my lives and you enjoy Decon Q&A with CrystalJae and you just love Divine or Decline, then support the show by becoming a subscriber. Or if you're already a subscriber, you can gift out subscriptions. Plus, if you want to tip me, those links are in my bio. Okay. So we knew how you deconstructed. We know, why you started doing lives and all of that. And you've talked about your most memorable show, but who has been your most memorable Christian? If you don't remember the name, you could just tell us what happened.
Most memorable Christian. Gosh, there have been so many just horrible ones.
It really is. And they start to blend in to become just one thing,
That
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay. It takes a minute. I know, because I'm trying to think over mine too. There's just been some doozies. One of the funniest ones Joyful and I had was this lady was arguing with us and we were going to tell her some scripture. We told her to turn to Numbers. And she goes, okay, what? And like we said, 4:24 or whatever it was, right? And she was like, yeah, but what book? And we said Numbers. And she goes, I know, it's 4:24, but what book? And I said, the book is Numbers. She goes, there's not a book called Numbers, honey. And that was pretty memorable.
Come on. Oh my God.
She was so mad at us.
What a noob. Even I know that.
I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember now. I can't remember the person's name. But I don't know what it is. I find some it's definitely ASMR. But at the same time, there's also a weird quirkiness thrown in there. I love when people are just so wrong about some things, and they talk as if though they know what they're talking about when they really don't. Like, that frustrates a lot of people. But honestly, one of the most relaxing things that I do, as much as I don't want to talk to them, one of the most relaxing things that I do is actually I sit down and I'll either listen to like pseudo preachers, or I'll listen to like flat earthers, people who are just,
Really?
oh yeah, and I'll just listen. And every time they say something really dumb, but they do it in such confidence, and if there's like a right tone of voice or whatnot, and for something, it just like gives me like the greatest pleasure, and I have no idea why. I think it's like people who really like. I'm a person who really likes bad movies. Like, that movie sucks so much ass. I want to go back and see it right now. And so
That's funny.
there's something that I find fascinating about. But so anyway, once again, very long answer. It's like, fuck.
No,
All right.
that's the way you're supposed to do these answers.
I know, but the plane can't land because it's spinning and it's really, really high. So I can't remember this twat's name, but he came up there and he just, thing after thing that he said was just so incredibly like run-of-the-mill crap. Like, oh my God, how could you use that? Like, you might as well have just said, because the Bible tells me so. Like the apologetics that he was giving were just atrocious, and I just loved it. I just sat there and listened, and I could
You
tell.
loved every minute of it. And we
I
were
could
probably
tell.
all in the audience
Exactly.
getting pissed.
Exactly. I had people on my panel who were getting mad, and I had to finally tell them, look, guys, I really need to listen to what this guy is saying, because he's spitting some facts and I'm listening. And he thanked me for it. He was like, thank you, Solo. I appreciate you. You let people talk on your live. I was like, you bet, bro. And of course, him not knowing that I'm getting pleasure off of his like
Stupidity. Oh, that's hilarious. I remember one time Joel was live, and most of us, when we go live, we don't really like to listen to personal testimonies. First of all, you can't, like, what am I going to do? Tell you your dead grandma didn't come talk to you? I can't do that. I mean, she didn't come talk to you, but I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news to you, or mock you for it or whatever. I'm not doing that, So we don't usually listen. But I'm sitting in the chat and I'm listening to Joel, and he is listening to this guy's testimony. And I have to admit, I don't remember the story right now, but it was kind of interesting, but it was also obviously pure bullshit. Okay, whatever it was. And after a really long time of listening to this testimony, I would say we're at least 15, 20 minutes into this testimony now, where Joel hasn't said anything. We're all just listening to this guy go on and on. I finally said in chat, like, why the hell are we listening to this, or something like that. And then it was like Joel kind of snapped out of it or something. And he was like, oh yeah, like, why the hell am I listening to this? He goes, I don't know. I was finding it kind of interesting. But yeah, I think that sometimes the host enjoys things that the audience does not enjoy. Because I realized I am not enjoying listening to this man's testimony. And I'm like that with Phil Bros too. When they go up and talk to you guys, I'm like, I hate this. But a lot of times the host will be like, this is very interesting. Let's all talk about this right now.
Yeah, see, it depends. Like, for me, I like Phil Bros, especially if it's someone who legitimately has a philosophical like inquiry or thing to say. There are, you see, the ones that I call Phil Bros are not the ones that are actually good at philosophy. They're the ones that like they memorize scripts, or they
Right.
they exchange simpler words or phrasings for something that's more complex, just to make the other person have to stop and think, because that's something that's all too common. And actually, I want to revisit that in a minute. So remind me, or I'm literally going to forget. Actually, I just forgot.
I'm going to forget too.
Oh,
I forgot too.
But I like it when someone actually has a serious philosophical inquiry and actually wants to, talk about it through more of a Socratic dialogue, as opposed to like, you know, trying to rip each other's heads off. And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think what I was going to say when I was talking about before, and I'm not discouraging what anybody does. So there are people who run their own lives. They do it the way that they want to do it. And to be honest with you, I love watching these lives. I love watching people get cooked. At the end of the day, I do feel like it's kind of shit. And let me explain, okay? Because I think people value things that shouldn't be valued. When someone asks someone, like let's say someone's debating someone on TikTok and the host asks somebody a question and there's a pause. We're always like, you know, haha, you gotcha. You know, you don't know the answer. I'm sitting there thinking, what's wrong with the pause? We should be thinking about our answers. If it's all just about who can say what quicker, is that really cooking someone, or are you just displaying how much better you are at like communicating in public or making yourself seem like you're superior? I get more turned on by there being an actual interaction between people who have to stop and think and scratch their head and really, really get that process of thinking going, because I'm interested in actual answers. And so while I have nothing against content creators that cook people on their life, I love it. Like I will be in the chat throwing so much fruit at the guest. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's really making the big difference. What's making the big difference is the content of the conversation itself. That's what I get off on the most, you know, when you know, hosts will say something that I've never even stopped to consider, and it's mind-blowing, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that just opened a new door of information that I hadn't even considered before. That's what really turns my crank.
That happened to me today. It was like just another time where somebody said something when I was like, that alone should have made me realize that this God of this Bible is not real and the Bible is full of shit. And it was because Bash was live on, I think it was Christina Carroll's live earlier, and he said that cats are never mentioned in the Bible. And before you say the lion will lay down with the lamb, no, it's really the wolf will lay down with the lamb. Yeah. The lion comes from an Elvis Presley song in the 50s. So the cats are never mentioned. How could there be a true loving God who never mentions cats?
Right. That's true.
Just saying. And yet they talked about Egypt. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize that until today. I was like, what? I didn't realize cats were never mentioned in the Bible, but they're not.
And I think that's why, you know, my wife and I are such cat people and such anti-Bible people.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a question and you are in chat and you don't want to come up, you can ask your question in the chat and I will read it. Nick, Cash, do you have some other questions for Solo?
I think that's pretty much it for now. Got somebody got some interesting L takes by Luke about the whole Bible literalism thing. Like, I don't even, honestly, I am kind of losing track of what the crap he's talking about.
Yeah, I stopped reading that a while ago. Can you be anti-Bible and a dog person? I think we'll allow that. Because the Bible talks kind of derogatory about dogs. They're always like waiting to devour something, or, you know, they're considered the enemy a lot of times and used to slur a woman. So yeah, you can be pro-dog, anti-Bible. I like what Hippie said. The cats kept pushing the ink off the table, so they were excluded. That's a fact.
That's actually hilarious. Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah. Well, shoot, when Jesus, used that as the, the slur, that one, lady. I mean, honestly, if you're going to compare dogs to the nation of Israel, fuck. Call me a dog. Jesus. I'd rather be a dog. I mean, what do you want me to say? Jesus, woof, woof,
True.
Christ. Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Joe.
Hey, Dr. Joe. I like Dr. Joe.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
Nick, what were you gonna say?
I like smart people.
Having issues coming up with questions today. I'll be honest with you. I totally just woke up from a coma. And then I saw that you were live, and then I remembered it was Solo's day. So my brain hasn't kicked in yet. I'm
That's okay. If you think of anything, just ask, okay? Same with you, Cash. Y'all are up here. If you think of any questions at all, feel free to ask. Also, we'll check the YouTube. Okay, so we now know the whole backstory. We know about your who inspires you in your life in general. Who inspires you?
Who inspires me?
Yeah.
Oh, my students.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, they're turds. Okay, but I'm a turd too. I'm just a bigger, older, smarter turd. And I wouldn't even call myself smarter. Maybe I just, I've had more experience, but yeah, I mean, when I see I live vicariously through them on the daily. And that's why it can be so frustrating to be a teacher, because, you want to be friends with someone, but at the same time, you know that you can't.
Yeah.
I can't be friends with them. I can't get too close and personal with any of them, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, I can say that they inspire me, and they do. And so they inspire me to keep being a teacher, to keep trying to know that, that I'm not really that much different than they are. I'm just older and fatter and maybe a little wiser, better looking, smell better. I smell better than them. And all those other things I said too.
What's your favorite subject to teach in school?
Well, I'm a Spanish teacher, so that's the only subject.
That's the only subject. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't.
If they let's see, if they had like a philosophy, or like an intro course or something like that, that would be fun to teach. But yeah, I know that, and I could give some guitar lessons. Other than that, I can't really teach much of anything.
Entonces, yo voy a hablar en español solamente.
¿Solamente?
Sí, yo voy a hablar en español.
Okay. Para el resto del life. Muy bien. All right.
Sí.
But,
¿Tienes preguntas, Tahir, Nick, Cash? ¿Tienes preguntas para el solo?
hay alguien que tenga una pregunta. Pregúntame ahora. No mames, güey. No sé.
I absolutely
Cállate,
don't
cabrón.
understand, but was that more questions for Solo?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any more questions for Solo? Yes.
Yeah, I had one more that I was gonna. I know I said no more, but
That's okay.
like
I
since you're
like there's questions, so you stay
Perfect.
as long as you want. Yeah.
yay. So now that you're kind of removed from your deconstruction, if there was somebody that came up on your live and was like, "Hey, man, I'm really, really struggling with this. I don't know, what to do. I have these questions." Like, what would you say to them? What has been the most valuable thing you've learned?
I tell them to fuck off, stop crying about it.
Yeah.
Get the hell off my panel. Did you not read the background, you inept twat? No, it depends on what they're struggling with. If someone came up to my live and said, "I need help getting closer to Christ," I'm going to be like, well, I mean, I heard that he died, so, maybe you could start that process. But it depends. Like if someone came up with a deconstruction question, then, or they're struggling with, letting go of the faith. I think one of the best things you can do for people in those situations is just to listen. I've noticed on TikTok, a lot of people want to always have an answer to something. And sometimes it's best not to. Sometimes what you need to do is just let them talk it out, because the more they do that, then the more they're going to be opening up to figuring it out for themselves. And that solidifies it in the best way. And that's what I would do, I think.
That's good. I like that.
On my mental state, of course.
So, not so much as a question, but do you think you two could start talking in Spanish again, but a little bit slower and seductive for about 5 more minutes? Thank you.
No. Mijita, no, yo no puedo.
I don't even speak Spanish. I'm the worst Spanish teacher ever. They all come into the room and I'm like, all right, chat, shut up. All right, pay attention. We're going to talk about hablo en español today.
Hablo en español.
Everybody take out a libro and figure out Spanish for yourself. That's how I had to do it. And then I just get on TikTok and they read their books. Worst Spanish teacher ever. They don't read their book.
Have them all
download
Duolingo.
Yeah.
No, we don't do Duolingo anymore. No.
Oh yeah,
no more
that's right.
Duolingo.
Yeah, they're in there with Target.
They fired a bunch of people and went AI. I thought that would be a cool thing to tell us.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I don't have it on my phone, but I never will now. Screw them.
Yeah, they thought that was an announcement that was going to go over well. We fired humans and we hired AI, which we don't really have to pay for.
Wow. Now I'm even
puedo,
less interested in learning a new language.
And did the prices go down? Is there a price on Duolingo? Did their prices for anything go down?
I doubt it. I don't know.
Oh.
Sí, yo puedo hablar en español porque mi hijo es mexicano. Mi ex esposo es mexicano también, de Ciudad de México. Entonces, cuando mi hijo está más joven, yo hablo los 2 lenguas en la casa.
Muy bien.
Pero yo no tengo una persona con practicar mi español hoy.
Pues
es muy difícil si no puedes practicar.
Pues sí, pero de una manera graciosa, como ya he mencionado, se puede usar la inteligencia artificial. Es la verdad. Yo tengo conversaciones con la inteligencia artificial todos los días para mejorar mi
sí.
Sí.
Yo voy a hablar con ChatGPT así.
Sí, es una buena manera de practicar el español, ¿verdad?
Okay. All right. Good to know. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Hi, Crystal. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I love seeing your face.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have questions for the solo?
Hey, Carrie's here. Hold on.
I am.
Yeah.
I've got to go put on some cologne. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Solo. I just had a couple of things I wanted to say to Solo, as long as he's still at his phone.
He's still there.
I know. I feel bad. I wanted to apologize to you that I don't get to see your lives as much as I want to, and it's just a scheduling thing. And I'm sorry about that, but I do try to join for a few minutes when I can. You're just never on at the right time for me.
Hey, Solo, are you on YouTube too, or just TikTok?
Okay, I've got the cologne on. What'd she say? No, I'm just joking. All right. No, I heard it. That was really kind of you to say. Yeah, I was like, I saw you a lot in Deconstruction Zone's lives, and I was like, oh, looks like she traded up.
No, that's not it. And most of the time when I'm listening to him, I'm actually not even there. I'm like half asleep or whatever. But
Yeah.
and I also
it's-
wanted to tell you that you are a very cool guy. I want to say that to you. And the reason why is because you're not only very intelligent, but you're a Spanish teacher. My Spanish teacher was the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah. W Spanish teachers. W Solovino in the chat, everybody.
Although he made fun of me because I couldn't roll my R's.
That's bullshit. They should never do that because there's some native speakers that can't roll their R's. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I can't roll my R's, and he'd always laugh at me because everything I said in Spanish was in an Okie accent. He was like, how do you speak Spanish in an Okie accent? I'm like, I don't know, but I do. So it always comes out. But that's all I wanted to say.
Hold on. I gotta let my wife know this. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah. There's people in this world that think I'm an amazing guy.
Interesting.
Okay.
Oh wow. Wow. Just wow. What the hell? Man? Come on.
All right. Fuck you too, sweetheart. No, I mean love you too, sweetheart.
Come on.
Here is why I do it anyway.
Okay, well, that's all I had. I just wanted to come up real quick
Aw,
because I'm
Kitty.
meeting my kids for dinner. We didn't get to go for Mother's Day, so we're going tonight.
Oh,
So
well, have a good Mother's Day. Thanks for coming up.
yeah.
I will. And you guys have a great evening.
Yeah. You
Thank
too.
you. You too.
Bye.
Goodbye,
Bye, Carrie. Thanks for
Carrie.
coming up. You guys, W in the chat for Carrie. I love Carrie. She's amazing.
You are so disappointed. I got a kitty and I'm going to squeeze it. I'm going to be.
What's your kitty's name?
His name is Ringo.
Aw.
He's a gelatinous twat, but he's also my cat. I love him. Oh. Let's see. Let's take this shit off.
So, did you always want to be a teacher?
No, I wanted to be a pastor.
Oh,
Well, to be honest with you, I thought I'm doing the Lord's work, and I was really dumb because I thought, it would be a pretty sweet gig. First of all, I'm the man, right? So you're doing it live every Sunday. And then, you're banging on that pulpit. You're teaching people about God, making myself, drink the Kool-Aid more, and then get paid for it, and, my parents weren't rich or anything, but, for the first, 15, or not 15, but for the first 10 years that my dad was a pastor when I was alive, we lived in a parsonage. And I was like, Dad, what's a parsonage? He's like, well, it's owned by the church. And I was like, oh, well, how much does it rent? How much does it cost? He's like, well, it's as long as I work for the church, we get to live here. I was like, geez, Dad. I was like, how are you just not rolling out like money all the time? Just like coming home with wads of, all the people's tithes and shit. And, but I thought it would be a really sweet gig. I was very much going down the road of, wanted to be like a mega preacher, someone with a really big church and nice salary and maybe own an airplane or two. I would never fly in them because I hate to fly, but I'd like to own an airplane or two and be a pastor, but I'm glad that I got away from that. I went through different career choices.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're glad you got away from that too, just by the way.
Yeah. There was like, I was wanting to be an NBA basketball star, a policeman, a preacher, an armpit model, and then a Spanish teacher.
What kind of ball now?
You know, Solo, it's funny because I also wanted to be a pastor, but because of the specific brand of Christianity as being brought up, and I was told that women are not permitted to teach. So I kiboshed that and became, trad wife instead. And it's really funny now because now I'm working towards a PhD in theology, and I'm going to teach it just to be spiteful.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a pastor too, but it was a confusing time in the Methodist Church when some churches were allowing female pastors and some were not. And so I had a youth group leader that I adored who was no. And then I had a Bible teacher who I thought the world of, and he was like, he literally took me aside and said, don't let anybody tell you can't be a pastor because you're a woman. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. And so I didn't let anybody ever tell me that, but I didn't go to seminary and I didn't end up becoming a pastor. I did do a lot of things in the church. I was Bible study teacher, Sunday school teacher, youth group pastor, but never went to seminary.
It sucks that I didn't, because all of these schools, I was talking with my grandparents about this when they were here, because they asked, well, why are you going through an American school? It's because pretty much all of the Christian colleges here only do it now for the seminary part. So if you're just going into theology, they don't teach that. It's just specifically for those who are going to be pastors and stuff, and it's really weird that they changed that. And it was upsetting because I did think about going to Northwest Bible College the way I was planning when I was younger. And yeah, it's just straightly pastoral now. And I was like, wow, that really blows.
First time I ever looked at spicy content on the internet was on the church computer.
That's how BTK got caught.
Yeah, I had the keys to my dad's office, and so I just went in there, was typing away, having a good time. Played some chess. I really wanted to play chess, but then I got sidetracked. And I tried to print off a bunch of pictures, and none of them would print. This is back in the day where you had to send it to a printer and have it print off. The printer was right there next to it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, this shit ain't working. So, finished the business the old fashioned way and, turned it off and went home. And next day I come in and, was coming back. I was going to the church to do something and came by Dad's office. He was like, well, I turned the printer off turned the printer on this morning and I found all this. And he just handed it to me. And I was just like, oh, sorry. Sort of walked away in shame. And he's like,
oh my God.
Why were there so many pictures of feet? And on one hand, it was really, really embarrassing. But on the other hand, at least I got the printouts and took them home, took advantage of them. But the point I was trying to make there is that being a pastor, I would have just ended up doing something stupid like that and letting a lot of people down. It's probably best that I didn't become one.
When my son was about 11 years old, we had a computer room. So my computer would be here, and then Doug's would be right there, and my son's was right behind us. And we're sitting, he's like 11, and he goes, how do I get this off of my computer? And my husband and I both turn around, and there is a woman spread eagle on his screen. And I am just mortified. I am just like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm speechless and I'm not moving. I'm just in shock. And my husband, without missing a beat, he just turns around and goes, one day, son, you're going to be asking me how to get that on your computer. And then he went over and did whatever he did and got it off the screen while I still sat there mortified, but now laughing because that was funny.
Indeed.
Those were back in the days when you would type something innocent into the browser, and we didn't have Google. Google didn't exist, okay? It was Hotbot was what we were using back in the day. And you would type something in, and they would the corn sites would change their meta information so that if you type something innocent in, you would get corn anyway. So he had typed in Star Wars, and then he didn't get Star Wars.
I feel like I've seen the spicy version of Star Wars, though. It was worth it. I will never look at Master Yoda the same way again.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that word master, so I'm glad that you landed on Yoda.
Yoda's landed on Yoda. Well, that is a
Okay, Ty here, help us out here. Get us out of this conversation with one of your questions.
Talk about a really weird landing strip.
So, just out of curiosity, what is your go-to binge TV show? Let's just go there. Come with me.
There you go.
You guys might not know it. There's several, but one that I particularly find just right up my alley is an old TV show. It's a British TV show called Faulty Towers.
I love it.
Yeah, with John Cleese. I bought those, and even though there's only 12 episodes, like I feel like it satisfies me. I don't get tired of it. I don't laugh at it much anymore because I've seen it so much. But it's like I don't know. It's just it takes me to a place in which I'm relaxed. Like if I was a kid and had to stay home from school and was sick or something. I would put on, we had tape of all of them that we recorded on a VCR tape when it was playing on TV. They were doing a marathon. We recorded them. And I would play that tape. Of course, after that was The Price is Right. I'd have to watch The Price is Right. But after that was over, I'd put in Faulty Towers and, I'd watch all 12 episodes. And that's definitely one of my go-to.
Do you remember they had another show around the same time that Faulty Towers was out, but it was in a department store. I liked that one too, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, something about being served or something like that. Is that right? Is that what it was called?
Yes. So what is that? What is it called? Something being served. Yeah. Something.
Are you being served?
Are you being served? Yes.
Cash, thanks for coming up.
Yeah. I honestly didn't care for Are You Being Served as much. It's probably just because I got so used to, the John Cleese, all that was my go-to. But yeah, today
that was a good show.
These days I like watching I'm a big fan of The Office. I like South Park. I like Stranger Things. I like Three's Company. I like to watch.
What's your favorite South Park episode?
Everybody Loves Raymond. Kick-ass show. Love that. My favorite South Park episode is I think it's Facebook.
Oh yeah.
That one was just particularly funny for me. Like some of the other ones that I really like are just so inappropriate. Like the Tourette's one, I thought was really funny.
I love the Dungeons and Dragon one, and I love the Book of Mormon one. Those two are like classics for me. Scientology is a good one too. You're right, it is.
Oh, actually, I'm wrong. My favorite episode, I forgot about it. It's I can't remember what it's called, but it was like End of the World of Warcraft, I think that's what it's called. Or Make Love Not Warcraft is what the episode is called. That's actually one of my favorites.
Hey, Austin, I muted you up. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 32, but I didn't mean to come up. I'm working. I'm just
Oh,
listening and
okay.
tapping.
I'll drop you. Thank you for coming up, being here. We appreciate you for tapping the screen, doing all the good things. Yeah, I love that one too. That is that one they're looking for the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one.
So what is it? The sword of something. I should know it because my favorite episode. But it's,
I don't remember though. I don't
the sword
memorize.
of it was called the Sword of a Thousand Truths or something like that. That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, Moral Oral was a great show. I actually want to find that and just rewatch it all because I think the last time I watched it, I was still a Christian. And I still found it hilarious. It was hilarious to me.
Dad, hand me the sword.
Okay, you also said, oh, go ahead,
I was
Tahir.
gonna say I don't mean to be a runner, but I do got a boot scoot and boogie.
To hear it's been
Y'all
so
are
nice.
leaving me right before the game. I see how you guys are. Y'all are chickens.
It's been fun hanging out with you guys, though.
Tahir, thank you so much for hanging out.
Solo.
You know I love you.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you coming up.
Anytime. Bye.
To hear was definitely a blast. It was nice to have them. A lot of good questions.
Tahir's amazing.
Yeah.
She has a new podcast out. You can find the podcast on deconstructionjunction.net and the Deconstruction Junction YouTube channel. You know, why
Hippie,
can't I remember what it's called?
Tippy, are you
Tahir?
not going to get up here? You're not going to get up here and ask your buddy Solo a question. Don't be a twat like that with bad form.
Yeah. It is called Shattered Foundations, Reconstructed Self. Shattered Foundations, Reconstructed Self. And it is about a bunch of the people in our community share their deconstruction stories. And it's really good. So if you get a chance, you should listen to that. It's on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube channel. Hey, Hippie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing good. Every once in a while, I get sad. I get a sad reminder that I haven't been by your lives lately either. And I think you know what happens. It tells me I haven't been there. It'll be Crystal has been removed as mod. Oh, no, but it's because I've been so busy.
No, it was last week, wasn't it? I had to make space for two
I
new
know.
mods, and I was like,
You
oh,
have
wait, who's not been there? So yeah, I had to do it. I didn't mean to message her after and say, oh, it's not personal, but
No, I know it's not.
So-
I'm
so-
like, I haven't been there forever. He needs to have mods that are there, so I don't blame you at all.
So
But then
I've
go.
not been in yours. I've not been in yours for a while. I got removed from yours a while back, so I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
thing,
even
innit?
know that.
Yeah.
Who removed you? Because I didn't do that, so that's weird.
You know,
But
no, someone did. It came up. It was a thing, and I was like, yeah. In fairness, I never go. I'm yeah. Wednesdays because I really enjoyed Bible study, like really enjoyed it.
yeah,
But then Wednesdays went to hell, and they're still there. So yeah, I don't get to do that anymore.
yeah, it does. It does. We do miss you. We do miss you. I learned so much from you when you used to come to Bible study. See, I didn't even know about the Divine Council until I met Hippie, and then Hippie taught me about that through Bible study. So,
See,
So
that
what do
was
you got
early in
for
my days
Solo?
on TikTok, that.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
I've asked a
I
question.
mean, here's the
I've
thing.
asked a
I mean,
question.
I mean, don't let your bangers and mash are going to start to get cold. So ask your question, you old twat.
Oh, mate, right. I've asked a question twice in chat, and it's been filtered out. So I'm a bit nervous.
Oh.
I'm not sure I should ask it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Right, okay, I'm going to do it. If it upsets your life, I apologise. So, look, if you really, really had to choose, you're in a corner and you've got no choice. You have to choose now, feet or armpit.
fuck. That's the hardest question that's ever been asked to me. Give me a second.
Thinker Ray, thank you, you guys. Welcome in the nerds. You guys are just ready to play Divine or Decline. We're going to play that in a minute.
Feet, because of the smell. Definitely not. Yep. There's natural, the pheromones there get me. Yep. Nope. Good question, man. I feel guilty now. I feel as if though I've like hurt one of them's feelings. Like I need to curl up with one of them tonight more than the other and be like, I'm sorry.
They made me pick. This
is the worst fucking live ever. I seriously, you get other people up here to like ask them like serious questions, and they go all into their expert, deconstruction zone. Like, oh, well, this is what I learned in seminary, and Rabbi Khana being like, oh, this is what I learned being a rabbi, and Solovino gets up here, feet are armpits, bro. God.
Right now, I've got to say that, right? Okay, I'm going to pick you up a little bit.
People are going to leave here. All 26 of you twats are going to leave here with the worst impression of me ever.
No, I'm going to change
and the people on YouTube too.
Well,
right. The first live I ever spoke on was Solos. The first time I ever spoke live on the internet at all was Solos live. I doubt it would have happened in anyone else's live. He kept sending me invites, and I kept rejecting them. Came up with some good excuses though. But yeah, when it came to it, there's some Christians really. They were just there's three of them in the boxes lying their asses off, and it got me cross. And I actually felt safe enough to go up and speak because it was solo. And I don't think I'd have done that for anyone else. So yeah. So your punishment of me speaking online is all Solo's fault.
No, I love it now because now honestly, because you've broke past that, like I get to sit and learn from you. Like I don't feel like you learn much from me when you come into my lives. I go into those like philosophy rants that kind of make everyone's head want to pop off a bit. But man, you teach me more about the Bible than anyone ever has. And even though it's a shit book, you've taught me a lot of shit. I really, really appreciate. So I look up to you now. So that's why you're my go-to guy. When they ask the question, who would I like to collab with? So,
yeah, I think you guys would make an awesome collaboration team. If you guys did a podcast, I'd be listening for sure.
Well,
you guys, if you're in chat,
we've done a couple of bits.
You got to do it. You got to do it. If you guys are in chat and you want to come up and ask Solo a question, just put your request in the guest box. Guest box is open. But yeah, I would definitely be listening.
Misery, you gonna come up and ask me a question?
Yeah, Misery.
Come on, Misery.
Yeah, come on.
Do it for Solo. I've already heard your voice. There's no judgment. She's getting ready to totally shit on me in a second. She's like, "Shut up, Solo."
Hey, Bat Coil. Hi, Elise. Duck the Rich. Hello, welcome in, y'all.
Your background is loud. It's all good. When
are we going to get a Trollovino series? We do need a Trollovino series.
We already have one. That's what I'm doing with my TikTok. So
I love them. They're hilarious.
I'm going to have to change my name fairly often because people are going to stop having me up in their lives. So that's why I try to like space it out a little bit,
I have
a weird...
Hi, Crystal. I have a weird question for you, Solo.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not trying to drag up any dramas,
No, it's okay.
But I had a moderator on my panel who was of a political stance that I did not agree with, and he hid it from me.
Yeah.
And you ended up finding out about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Does their name rhyme with pig?
Yep, it sure does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So I kind of saw a little bit of an interaction with you and him, and I just kind of wanted to get your take on that, Solo.
Yeah. So what was the interaction? I can't remember.
I just remember you saying song lyrics to him.
Oh,
That's
It's a very-
hilarious.
It's a very solo thing to do.
it is. I was on a bit of a journey at that time, and I remember that I went into a live, and to be honest, the live was, it wasn't really popping off. It was like legit boring. And so I thought it would be fun just to take some snippets from songs and just put them in the comments. And, not to my surprise, the host was seriously trying to figure out what I was talking about. And I was like, did you live in a cave? I was like,
I was like, yeah, solo is totally trolling. Like, this is a very solo move.
Well, I mean, when I put stuff like, whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. And the host is like, I don't know what you're talking about, Solo. Did I hurt your feelings? I was, fuck me to death. Like, do you not know what's going on? And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because I was entertained. But yeah, and if your question is sort of like, why is it that I don't, go and block other people or confront them? I am a person.
That is not my question at all, Solo, and I would never put that on you. My question was more, what were your feelings about that? Because I just wanted to kind of because I personally didn't know, because you were soloing, you were trolling a little bit.
Sure.
So I just kind of wanted to get your feelings on that.
Feelings, like the feelings on my trolling, I'm just
not your trolling.
Yeah.
On the pig.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you've got to, to nurture the pig and give the pig a place to live and be a pig. Sometimes
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing, but this is a very solo conversation.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take a little bit of, bacon off that pig's back and eat it with, some lettuce and tomato and some mayo.
Understood.
And toast.
Yeah, and toast.
I went full vegetarian.
Add a little turkey and you have a club.
I went full vegetarian in that mode, but I could see that angle.
Yeah.
But I definitely went full vegetarian when it came to that pig.
So I've moved from petting the pig and being like, oh, you're like Wilbur from Charlotte's Web, and started to be more, like the farmer on the other side of the fence that will still look down and, chat with the pig for a short period of time, but I'm not going to spend all day
now
with
we're
it.
Suspicious of the pig. Now we smell the pork byproduct.
You know what? I don't like dropping names, but there's not a content creator. There's just a man who comes up to my life every now and then and likes to tell a dad joke. But there was like a really bad live one night when we were over at Brand's live, and Brand has these hangout lives where we were all hanging out, and this person just like openly said, "Hey, well, at least not every Trump supporter is an a-hole." And you could just hear a pin drop in the room. And it actually started kind of an argument between 2 or 3 people in the room. And like, ever since he comes back on my live, like I still let him play his like dad jokes with me. I'm just like, I'm not as like happy to.
Understood. Like now you know that there's a wolf among the sheep. I hate to say it like that, but it feels that way sometimes. Especially this particular person, I don't know if you know about this, Crystal, but this particular person purposely hid his political stances in conversations where we were having political conversations. And he would purposely not talk about it in order to not let people know that he voted for Trump. And when it came out, everybody in his friend group basically was like, where did this come from? And then after that happened, he went full Trump supporter. Like, couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
So, wow.
I can hop down. That was the only question I had for you, Solo.
Elise, stay up and play the game real quick. We're about to play a fun game.
We're playing a game?
Yeah.
I choose.
You guys ready?
Can we get rid of Solo?
No, he's staying up here too. It'll be the 3 of you, okay? You guys ready for the rules?
She wanted to get rid of me. She's like, are we going to get rid of Solo? This sounds so fun.
This sounds fun. Get rid of Solo. Is that how we play? Okay, here's the game. It's called Divine or Decline. I'm going to read to you a phrase. If it is from the Bible, I use the New American Standard Bible, and I do not paraphrase. If it is from the Bible, it's divine. if it is from the Quran, the Book of Mormon, or I made it up, it's decline. If you are a subscriber, put your divine and decline stickers in the chat right now. Show everybody the special little sticker, emoticon things, whatever that you get when you're a subscriber.
Wait.
So there you go.
Is this basically like divine is true and decline is false?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So only the Bible is divine. Anything else is decline.
Oh,
Okay?
Wait, is it
no
okay
Bible.
that I butted myself into this game?
First.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I
that
love
sounds
it,
like a
Jack.
shit ton of fun. I'm so
It's
down.
it's a little bit unfair, so you're going to need to let us answer first before you do. But sure, you can.
Okay,
Shut up.
and is
Hi,
it
Becky.
is the game
Okay,
for
I'll go
sub?
from the bottom up.
Is the game for subs only, or can
No,
like us?
no,
Can I
anybody can
the
play.
Switch? I could play too.
Yeah, you can play too.
Switches and DOMs can play, not just subs.
Peck is what we call
Yes,
a
yes,
Peck is what we call a
exactly.
versatile subscriber.
Well,
Absolutely.
I am verse, but yes, okay, go for it.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll ask a question, then I'll ask each of you to take a turn and tell me what you think. Okay. So here we go. Starting with question 1. Let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil. Cling to what is good. Divine or decline. Solo.
I'm going to say decline.
Hippie.
Yeah, I'm going decline.
I'm declining
Elite.
that.
All
Sorry,
right. And
I
Pet.
jumped the gun. Decline.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm a decline.
That is divine. And that would be found in Romans 12:9. Okay, next
What
up.
the hell,
That
hippie?
was a
You're
practice.
supposed to be good
Here's
at
the thing:
this.
it all sounds like bullshit. So when I hear bullshit, I want to say it's divine.
But I
This
was
game
I was
is
leaning
shit.
divine, and you guys all said decline. I'm like, okay, wait, no, I'm wrong.
You know what it is? It's that she's reading from the NIV, and the NIV is.
I'm not.
trash.
I'm reading from the New American Standard.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
because it doesn't have a copyright.
I just forgot
That's
the
why-
New Testament was a thing. I'm sorry. Just,
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
That round was a
New Testament,
practice.
especially Paul.
Okay,
Anything written by
that
Paul,
was
I've got no
practice.
idea.
All right, that was practice. We're
That was
starting.
practice.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it. Lock in, everyone.
All right, ready? And the sun and the moon run on their fixed courses, each in its own orbit by the command of God. Solo.
Decline.
Hippie.
Decline.
Elise.
I think that's the Quran, so I'm going to decline.
Peck.
I actually think it's the Book of Mormon, so I'm going to decline.
It is the Quran 3638. Paraphrase because I took Allah out and replaced it
Does
with
that
God.
mean I get extra points because I picked the book too?
Yes, you do. You get 50
Hell
extra
yeah.
points.
Things like orbits and stuff already starts to sound way more sciencey, so you know that can't be the Bible.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
why I was
It's
leaning
true.
Mormon.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Number 3. The voice of thunder did shake the earth, but it was not the voice of the storm. It was the voice of the Spirit, gentle and piercing to the soul. Solo.
Divine.
Hippie.
Divine.
Elise.
Divine.
Peck.
Divine. I think that was Exodus.
That is decline. That's the Book of Mormon. Somebody said that in chat. They got it right. All right. Number
All you guys that bet
4.
on me, I'm so
You know
sorry.
what? This is why, Peck, I think you and I should just go against whatever Hippie and Solo say. And that way, at least somebody gets it right.
Is this
There
what
you go.
it feels like to be the Toronto Maple Leafs? Everyone that bet on me, I'm letting them down.
Yes.
Get ready
yes.
to get dog walked. I'm not getting any more wrong because Solovino's locked in.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Ready?
Open. Go ahead.
Even the locusts in their swarms obey the order of the one who formed them. Solo.
Divine.
Hippie.
I'm copying Solo. Divine.
Elise.
I'm going to say I'm going to say decline.
Peck.
No, it's divine.
It is decline, Elise. You got that one. I made it
Are you
up.
serious me? God damn it.
I made that one up.
This is why you should always go against the crowd, everybody. No peer pressure.
No, but
Okay,
I
so
thought
you
I
know what?
recognized
I'm
it.
just
It
gonna
sounded
go against
biblical.
I know how to do this now. I'm going against my instinct. Yep.
Okay.
Dude,
all right,
she
we're gonna
said
try that.
locust, and the first instinct was plague, but that's where she got you.
There we go. We'll see.
But it sounded
Okay,
familiar.
ready?
Okay.
Number 5, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Solo?
For by grace you are saved through faith. I'm going to say that that's divine.
Hippie?
It's Galatians.
Decline.
Elise?
Divine.
Can you read it again for me, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of yourselves, it is the gift of God.
Can I have the origin of the word, please? No. I'm going to go divine.
Yes, it is Greek.
I'm going to go divine.
Use that in a sentence, please. No, wait. No, that is a sentence.
Okay, that was divine. That was Ephesians 2:8. All right, number 6. They shall cry out in the wilderness, and the rocks shall weep at the hardness of their hearts. Solo.
See, I told myself I was going to go against my instinct. I'm going to say decline.
All right, Hippie.
Decline.
I'm going to be pissed.
Elise.
I'm going to say divine because of Hippie and Solo.
I'm so pissed. I'm pissed already.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm on the spot. I'm gonna say divine.
God damn it.
That was decline. That was
was
the
the
Book
Quran,
of
wasn't it?
Mormon.
Oh,
It was decline.
It worked.
Wait.
Yeah, see?
All right.
All right.
I know how it works now. Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Number
getting housed
7.
over here.
I don't even know what I'm answering anymore. Crystal, I'm just going with the
People
flow.
hate this game so much, and I love how much people hate it. It makes me happy. It's just funny. Okay. Better is a dish of vegetables where love is than a fattened ox served with hatred. Solo.
Against your instinct, Solo.
Okay, so if I go against my instincts, I'm going to say divine.
All right, Hippie.
Decline.
I'm going to say
Elise.
divine on this one.
Peck.
Decline.
Hey, Mama Bash, how are you? That is divine. Proverbs 15:17.
It works. It works. You just have to go against what seems like the right answer. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
All
Yeah,
right.
don't do any of those stupid
Go the
like
opposite.
strategies like me, like relying
Go
on your
down now?
education.
What I've learned is
Okay.
Crystal is a really good gaslighter, so whatever Crystal makes you feel, do the opposite of that.
Right. No, and that's what I'm saying is that this is a fun game because it's showing how you could just say anything and be like, oh, the Bible says that. And
Right?
dipsticks will be like, oh, word.
It's great.
That's
I
what the
love this
Christians
game
do,
so
isn't it?
much. Yes, exactly. Okay, number
getting ready
7.
to tear
No,
this
number
game.
8.
Yes.
So I'm going to go down this time, okay? Number 8.
Giggity.
Say the shade and the heat are not equal. So too are those who see and those who are blind to the truth. Peck.
Decline.
Elise.
This is unfair, Crystal, because I can no longer go off of Solo and Hippie's answers. So I'm going to go with divine.
Hippie.
Decline.
Solo.
I forgot what you said. What'd you say?
I said, say the shade and the heat are not equal, so too are those who see and those who are blind to the truth.
Divine.
That is decline. That's from the Quran, 35:19 through 20, paraphrased because I took Allah out and put in God. Okay, here we go.
Yes,
Number
so
9.
it sucks to go last, doesn't it? Yeah, you got to remember the quote. Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yes, you do.
No,
Okay,
I'm still just doing the thing where I go against. Okay, try it again. I'm still doing
Okay.
that.
The stars shall fall from the heavens, and the earth shall groan beneath the weight of its iniquity. Peck.
Oh, divine.
Elise.
Divine.
Hippie.
Divine.
Solo.
See, the thing is that now I get the impression that Peck is one of those guys that just said it that way to try to trick us.
No, I'm
He
pretty
wants
sure this
us-
is Book of Revelations. If I was trying to trick you, I suck at that. You would know.
But that's just something a good trickster would say.
That's something a con man would
all right,
say, Peck.
I'm going to go with divine then. I swear to God, Peck. I swear to God. I'm
It's
going with
decline. I made it up.
Are you serious?
You
That sounds so revelation-y.
trickster.
You giant piece of.
No, I literally know. That was me
I
literally
put all
being
of my
wrong.
faith into you, just like I did God. Peck,
Don't
and
put
you
faith
failed
in me. That's your
Put
mistake.
faith into Beck.
You
No,
have
I
just as
was
much faith into Peck that I put into God, and guess what? I got the same results.
I took all of my unwarranted confidence that my Y chromosome could muster up. I was absolutely
Listen,
confident on
Peck,
that one.
I'm just going to assume, Peck, that you are a white cis male.
Yeah, I mean I'm queer.
Yeah,
but yes,
so the confidence there is just astronomical.
well, no, it's because I'm special. Society
Crystal
says.
and I know. It's okay, honey. Crystal and I know.
Society said I'm its special little.
Crystal and I are patting you on the head. It's okay.
I'm a
We
Caucasian
understand.
cis
You're a special
male,
boy.
aged 40 to 60. Everyone listens to me.
Yes, Peck. Everybody loves you.
Okay, now everybody listen to me. This is the final question. It's for all the marbles.
Hey, Crystal,
Whoever gets
cis men are
this-
talking. No, I'm kidding.
Get him off the panel.
I can't. Every time I try, it doesn't let me boot him. It's weird. Okay, final question. Here we go. The heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? Peck.
Decline.
Elise.
Decline.
Hippie.
Decline.
Solo.
Oh, say it one more time. I'm sorry.
The heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it?
If I'm doing the instinct thing, I'm going to go with divine.
Then you would be right because that was Jeremiah 17:9 and that
yes,
was
Solovino.
divine or decline.
Solovino rocked this game. W's to me in the chat.
W's for sure.
Just 2 V's in the chat for Solo V because he doesn't need a W. He just needs 2 V's. 2 capital V's put together in close proximity.
Solo, when do you have a schedule or do you just go live when you're feeling it?
Hold on a second. I'm writing a message. Let's see.
Solo, you are an idiot. Do you know that? You are the biggest idiot on the planet, and I still love
He
you. and I
is.
don't know how.
Let's see.
And the reason he's an idiot, for those of you who can't see the TikTok screen, is Solovino just wrote in the chat, Solovino, you're cute. ASL?
I thought you were asking if anyone knows American Sign Language. I was like, I do.
I forgot the question you asked me. What was it?
I asked you if you have a schedule or if you just go live whenever you feel like it.
I typically, I don't have a schedule, but it'll typically be on a school day, and it'll be after, so it'll be around 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so, Mondays, Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays. I mean, it just depends. But those are the most likely times you'll catch me is during between 4 and 7, or sometimes I only go for a couple hours, between 4 and 6, during those times. And then also on just depending on the what's going on with the wife and whatnot, I like doing a good Saturday morning live. Those are some of my favorite ones, to get up and get a nice pot of coffee going, drink some iced tea, have a donut, and sit in the window and look outside and talk to a bunch of ignorant Christians. It's fun.
It sounds like a beautiful day to me. You guys, if you're not following Solovino, follow my friend Solovino. He was literally one of my very first friends on this app. First person who ever made me a mod, and now I mod for everybody. And he was also hippie. He was my first panel I ever went on. The only other time I went up was because Joyful invited me up to ask him to be his co-host. But I was already gone up on Solo's lives on the panel before, so that was he was my first two.
Solo was one of my first panels too. Solo is, I think, one of the introductory atheist panels for people who join TikTok. It's weird. Like they go, "Oh, you're an atheist? Here, let us show you Solovino."
Yeah.
Well, according to my Bible, if you guys didn't know, I'm actually writing my own Bible. I am the Lord thy God that's even further removed out of space and time, who created everything, including the thing that created everything. So that's somewhere in my first chapter, Abiogenesis. So
Awesome.
if you guys want to be on the list, on the Google Doc list where I continuously update that stupid Bible even to this day, all you have to do is send me your email in a chat and say you want to be put on it, and I'll send you a link, and you can or an invite, and you can come on as a viewer. I even allow some people to be editors because I feel like that's how Bibles are written. So.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm going to have to send you my email address. All right, you guys. Well, this is it for today for Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Solo, thank you so much for being here. I do want to make a quick little commercial and let you guys know, if you are a creator and you'd like to be on Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, just drop me a DM either on TikTok or Discord, and let's set up a time for you to join me right here. I don't care. I take people of all following sizes. You don't have to be a big creator like Solo. You could be a small creator like me, okay? Because I just want to talk to you all, get to know you, and let you get to know the people in the community and let them come up and ask you questions and stuff. So just drop me a DM. Also, I will be live tomorrow. I want to say 11 a.m., but I think it's 10 a.m. With Leaving Faith, Sarah. So if you love Sarah, join us. Right? I'm so excited. So at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, right here on this channel. JD's show that was supposed to be for Sunday has been postponed. We'll get back with you on a new date and time for that. I have great creators coming up, so make sure you're following me. If you're over on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. If you're here on TikTok and you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, please go do so. I'm trying to get to 500 followers over there as soon as possible. All right, you guys, I love you all. I hope you guys have a great day.
Is your YouTube name just CrystalJae?
I am CrystalJae, Jae, all one word. I am CrystalJae.
I just want to make sure
the link is in my bio too.
If you see somebody named Elise Awesome Pants following you on YouTube,
okay.
It may or may not be me. I'm not gonna say.
Okay, awesome.
But just want to make sure. Love you, Crystal.
I love you. Is there somebody we should raid right now? Is there anybody who's live right now that we should raid? Because I don't know who's out there.
He was going to go live after he ate his sushi, so I think Jeff is live.
Okay.
I don't know if he is live or not. You might want to check first.
Jeff, End of Species is live. Let's all go raid Jeff, End of Species, and tell him Crystal sent you. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you around the mean streets of TikTok. Goodbye, YouTube. Bye. Goodbye, TikTok.
Big love.